Kia ora everybody, this is Lesley Ormsby and I'm a seer. I'm a seer and I don't normally say that, but I see things and I hear things and I smell things, taste things, feel things. So basically I'm an empath and I'm a psychic, a medium and a teacher of spiritual and mystical things and so much more. So anyway, this video, this reading is for Aries and this is a weekly one. And I'm just going to continue with the weekly ones for this month, and then come up to until I get up to the third week, and then I'm going to do the August monthly one for this for August. Okay, and the third week I'll put those out every month, and up until and otherwise I'm going to be doing them weekly. Okay, so you might have noticed that I haven't done a monthly one for July, and that's just purely because I've run out of time. I've run out of time, and there was a whole lot of things going on. So managing and organising my time last week and the week before, there was just a lot of energy that was going on in my life. So so anyway, things just got shifted around a bit, and that's just the way it rolls. And also I was thinking and drawn to be having a wee think about how I'm going to structure these in order for me to have time to do other things within my business and putting out different context and content rather in a different context as well. So and it's kind of like interesting because you may be Aries. This is like for you Aries, sorry. And like there may be some shifting and some I want to say maneuvering around of how you are doing things nowadays. So, and it may be like you're just like contemplating, about whether you're staying here or there or doing this or that or whatever, or you're going to put this aside, and it's about restructuring something in your life, but as well as yourself. What is it that you're restructuring within yourself? And it could be something like how you're seeing things. And sometimes I know I'm a Gemini, so there may have been something like this going on for you this week or coming into this week that was kind of starting last week as far as time goes, because we've just been through or in a full moon energy, because it was a full moon yesterday in New Zealand. It was like 4:44 as the peak time. So I hope you put out all your crystals and whatnot that need to be cleansed. So, well, obviously not the ones that are going to dissolve with water and rain and that sort of thing. So with those ones, I tend to put them on the windowsill where I know the moonlight is going to get them or reach them or touch them in some sort of way. But just the energy and just bringing the energy into that intentional, bringing that energy in, like whatever we could put out, and just knowing that moonlight or moon energy is going to reach it in some way, somehow, whether it be through rays of light or energetically, the rays of energy coming out and reaching your taonga in some way or form to help cleanse it, but also and revive it, lift its energy, so it's so it just starts to buzz even more. Okay, so anyway, and that's maybe something about you as well, going through this little bit of a cleansing like yesterday, because I'm doing this video today and it's the 6th of Monday, the 6th of July 2020. So you may be feeling the effects of it. And so last week I feel like a lot of us coming up, because there was an eclipse as well. So, and, pushing out things and, pulling out, well, when I say pushing it, I mean, it is kind of pushing it as well as pulling out. So sometimes, the energy, you may feel it's actually been pushing out stuff for you to review about yourself or about something that's been going on in the distant future, a few years ago, or in the recent, distant future. And as well, you may have put things out there in the distant future where you have thought it, okay, for them to bring that up, because you've been working on or looking. When I say working, it's like looking back at things that in the past. Okay, so and it's like So you've projected forward something in the future that's got to do with the past. So so there may be something that they're pushing you to look into, figuring out or viewing that, reviewing that, that is so you can heal it or shift that perspective, because it's like, or there's a whole lot of energy going there. It can go quite deep, but it's like that's why it's really, we have to be really mindful now, especially with this energy the way it is, and you will be feeling it, about what we're putting out, and it's coming to fruition a lot quicker. We're manifesting things a lot quicker, whether it be something that we didn't want to come or something that we did want to come. So you may be noticing that. So it's like, and this is like what Spirit is showing us at the moment, or what the universe is showing us at the moment, is that very thing. Is like, it's not like it's not been like that in the past. It always has been. But it's like to a different energy, vibrational energy now, that most of us are really feeling it and noticing it now. And that's the difference. We're more noticing it now. It's more known. It's more spoken about because of that. It's more, and we're not, and so it's like getting us to review it and what we've put out in the past to, for the future or for the now, what might be coming up now for you. And it's like, God, I actually put out for that. And maybe not last week, last year, 10 years ago, but it's like looking back at all of that and figuring out your part in it, basically. So that's what I feel like this, the universe is doing for a lot of us, is like getting us to figure out, actually, because we got stuck in the cycle, or you've got stuck in the cycle, figuring out what it is taking responsibility for, and acknowledging, this is not about beating yourself up to a bloody pulp, by the way, either. It's just acknowledging, actually, what, your part in it, or our part in the situation or the experience. And it's not saying that, it's like, for some of it's about forgiveness, and it's not saying that you have to forgive the person or the thing. It's about forgiving the whole experience of it, and accepting and acknowledging it, that you've experienced that, and that's it. And it may be about forgiveness for some people's part in it, but also forgiving ourselves for, because it's looking at ourselves too, and how we have been, our contribution to being in that experience or situation at that time. So, and which is usually, when we wind it back, is why we are more, and for a lot of us, is it comes to that depression, or that overthinking, or that, being tough on ourselves, because it comes, we know to a degree, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that, we've let ourselves down in some way or form, or we've made a decision, that's maybe not panned out, because, and it's maybe that, and it's, sometimes we do make decisions where it doesn't quite pan out, and that's, and that's just the way it rolls. So we pick ourselves up, and we carry on. And it's about looking at what it was, why it didn't turn out right, quite how we would have liked to have turned out, and learning from that. Okay, so it's the highly, and when we're learning from it, it's highly less likely to happen again. And sometimes we go in there and we have a little go, another little go, and we tweak it a little bit to, to see if that would work. And sometimes it's about like letting it go, and it just depends on each situation. And like, if you look at Einstein, because his energy's just popped in, to use him as an example, if we, and all those, and like, and Tesla, and, all those, scientific minds that were back in them days, they all, and even the scientists now, and people that try things out, and people who are successful in their business, and that they've all tried something out, and maybe not worked out as well as it could have, but they've figured out another formula, you could say, or another recipe, or found that ingredient, as to make it happen for them. And it could be anything. It could be something that they may not have put enough effort into it. They may not have researched enough to it. They may not have been in the best mind frame to goes back to putting enough effort into it, and it may be that they didn't do, you know, have the right people in the right place, but and they might have had, you know, listened to their heart rather than their logical mind, and never found the balance in between that. And they might have done, you know, there's a whole lot of things that come into play with it that we're needing to like look at within ourselves, why something didn't pan out or work out in the way that we had hoped or thought it would, but we keep trying again, and we got in one way or another we figure it out. Sometimes it's just simply we need to let it go. Sometimes we can work on it, and it might not be overnight that it happens. It might take a bit more time for it to actually be, you know, come to a fruition or be a success, or, you know, and, you know, whatever that is, or, you know, or work out. Other times we're going to have, you know, and, you know, it's going to have projects or things that are going to work, you know, just like that. But it may be that before that, if you have a think about it, you might have like really listened to your intuition. So going back to the other, you know, side of things, it could be that you know, we didn't listen to, or you didn't listen to your intuition, why something never panned out or went wrong, or you got hurt, or, you know, the path that you chose didn't quite pan out. But it's like, you know, in a way where maybe that was meant to happen, so you would learn. And you could argue that and say, maybe maybe it, you know, it was just fate. And for some things, yes, it is. And some don't think, but a lot of the time I think, and I believe, you know, and watching myself and looking back in myself and for myself in my life, and working with other people, and and watching other people go through what they've gone through, and who I've learned from, and who I've worked alongside as through my lifetime. There's, you know, 99.9% of it comes back to us in some way or form, through a decision or a choice that we've made. Whether it goes right back to when we were in another lifetime before we came here to be on this planet, in this timeline. So anyway, I just kind of feel like I've just done this great big spiel, and I haven't even drawn a card yet, but there's something to do with that anyway. So I hope you understand where they're going with that. So I said to Spirit, right, so there's something about a timeline as well. So they're talking about timeline, creating a timeline for you. Okay. Oh, okay. So anyway, this is the first card out. Well, I'm using my Archangel Raphael cards, okay, that messages that have come through him. I've yet to complete this deck. But I've got the wording, and I've got this and that, but I've just not got the artwork yet. So this is Archangel Raphael saying new love coming in. And I do feel like what they mean by that, after me just having that little spiel, is about new love, a new love of yourself, a new love, loving yourself in a new way, and realizing that actually, you know, this is about self-care, taking care of yourself, taking care of your wairua, taking care of your, you know, your tinana, your body, taking care of your hinengaro, your mind, and just being mindful, you know, just being mindful and aware of what you're doing, and whose energy you're in, because this is kind of like all energy. They're going on a really healing and spiritual and all sorts of, you know, even a physical, you know, way of delivering. I was going to say context, you know, of delivering the messages lately, and that's like metaphorically as well as literally, as well as you know, spiritually, is like they're just bringing in the messages in always whichever way you understand it. Okay, and you know, yeah, okay, cool. So new love. There's a new love, but also some of you, I feel, because these, you know, readings are general, just remember that. I just like to say, you just remember these, to remind everybody, these reads are general readings, so they may or may not resonate with you, but I'm just feeling like, you know, because I've just done this whole thing, my beginning of it is like all different, so you may find that like things are really shifting for you, you're doing things differently, or you want to do things differently, but some of you may be resisting, so it's like trial and error, you know, that's what the words that they're using. Just try it out. It may be that, you know, there's, you know, you've been wanting to make some changes, and you could go back to what you used to do before, but I feel like there's, you know, the universe or your guides, your helpers, and it's just you, your inner knowing, and your higher being knowing is asking you to really listen to yourself and try things out in order for you to grow and to move past some blocks or some obstacles that are seemingly in your way. And a lot of it I'm hearing is procrastination, so as well. So new love. So there may, for some of you, be actually a new love that's coming into your life as well. So, and a new love of self as well. More going to that, but also literally there are some people, that's what it is about. And there are some of you out there that will be, there may be a new love that's come into your life right now, or soon that you may be looking at. There may be a new love. For some of you, there's a new love within your relationship already, in the way that you are seeing things differently about this person, and you're like, and some of you may have been on the brink of separation, and it's maybe you have, some of you out there have actually been separated, and it's coming back. You've figured out there's a new way, you've figured out something where actually, it's like, okay, this card here is you've been honest with yourself about your part in the friendship or the relationship that you have moved away from, or going into. So some of you may have been like sitting on the fence with going into a relationship, and maybe like just, called a little bit of time out for a while, or just a little space to have a think about, and have a feel about which way that you're wanting to go in this relationship, and and where you're wanting to take it. But the overall thing is like, be honest with yourself, okay? So that with that new love, I'm just going to pop these up here. So be honest with yourself, okay? Cool. So I feel like there's one more card in here that Raphael wants to share, and we'll see what that is. Oh, okay. What's going on here? So, okay, there's a little bit of a rant and a rave here going on. Is it you, Raphael, or am I going to Archangel Michael? Raphael. Cool. There's two cards that have come out. Cool. So surround yourself in loving energy, and like what they're doing, what they're meaning by there is like, you'll see this, it could be music, color, the color of your clothing, the color of, in people, places, so animals. So surround yourself in loving energy, basically, is where they're wanting you, suggesting that you go with that, because that will help pick up your energy, your spirit, your vibe. So, as you're processing whatever it is that you're processing at the moment, and what the, the universe is bringing for you to have a look at. So it's really making sure that, that it's not, beating yourself up to a pulp, like I say. It's really, they're just bringing to your attention about what it is that you, underneath it, you may be needing to look at within you, okay? And then this third card out, I'm just going to pop this other one. There is no drama unless you make it so. So sometimes what happens is like we get caught up in the drama of everything, and then it turns into something else, or something starts off and then we end up buying into somebody else's bullshit, basically, and also our own bullshit. So it comes together, and then we have this great big humongous fracking drama. So it's like not buying into the drama, okay? And there is no drama unless you make it so. So it's like, like figuring out that earlier, sooner rather than later. Okay. So anyway, they're just drawing me to use, the oracle cards. So we're kind of moving quite quickly today, because I noticed the times with the other ones. I'm just talking about the timing of the other ones. I've kind of, they've kind of been a bit long. So in order for me to be able to do other things that I want to do, like there's a new deck of cards, so there's some new projects coming up, and a new deck of cards, and some other cards that I've got to get going with, and it's about being mindful of time. So this is what is, I feel like I'm sharing this with you because there's something with some of you that being mindful of time, of how much time you are spending on this is things. So it's like, you decide to do something, and then and you do it, and it maybe take it more time, and you do it for a little while. So it's about, just sifting. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? I feel like that's why one of the things is they want to really say there's nothing wrong with it, or with it. It's really just being, so it's like, it's just, you know, having a little to-do around with things and shifting things around as you go, as you're learning, because it's all about growth. And sometimes we've got to learn new things, and in order to learn new things, we've got to try things out and figure out how it works for us in our lifestyle and our time and how much time, you know, and or space as we're moving within whatever it is, the project, the business, the work project. It could be, you know, building a house or whatever, and something in your personal life as well. So anyway, the King of Pentacles has come up. So, and the King of Pentacles is the theme around the King of Pentacles is financial security and stability. So there he is sitting in his throne, not just in it but on it. And he's, you know, he's quite comfortable there. He's got all of his abundance and prosperity that he's worked for around him. And I just feel like this is like the anchor with the energy. It's like, you know, we're just going to we have to put in a bit of effort to get to this stage if we're wanting this financial security and stability in our lives. So some of you, you may be like looking at, and some of you may be there now and wondering where to next. And so, and it's bringing up all these other things about what to next. So it's just moving onto the an idea that you may have had like 20 years ago, 10 years, 5 years, or 5 weeks ago, and you may have procrastinated or put it off for some reason. Okay, but I'm feeling like some of you, this is where you're wanting to be, and some of you are pretty close to it. You just got to keep going, and some of you just started on your project, and you know, and about it's like just keep moving and keep moving. You know, some people it literally can happen overnight. Others of us, we've got a longer journey to get there. But it's all about learning and growth, and like and it's like we've got to, like, you know, be resilient, pull out all these you know, or it's like be committed, be courageous, and we have to be courageous to be confident, because we've got to get out there, you know, and do whatever it is that we need to do, whatever it is we want to do. We've got to step out and see this. The next card here is inner strength. Okay, inner strength, and going back to that resilience, and that's the 9 of Wands. So in order to get there, you know, to this place, whether it's financially security or you know, whether you're working it with somebody else or for yourself, whether it's like we're coming back to the individual, because it's you, Aries, and there may be an Aries energy that's coming there, and even though that's coming around you, but I mean, even though the King of Pentacles is, you know, an earth sign, which is Taurus, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And that, so they may be around you, Aries, but you may be that person now, Aries, is distant and feeling a little bit more grounded as well. Or there may be someone, you know, in reaching that space. So it's more of that knowing that you're going to get there. But I'm just hearing for some of you, it is about literally like grounding yourself and anchoring yourself in this energy of financial security and stability, that it is there, it is achievable, you can do it, and it is coming. So it's staying in that sort of mindset, mind frame. So then we have the inner strength. So there's something to do with inner strength within you, is in being resilient. Of that 9 of Wands, the 9 is always about, well, for me, it's all about something coming to an end, or the completion of a cycle of something. So a lot of you, I feel like you're working towards that. Some of you are in that, and so they're saying like this week, you know, you might see a little bit more evidence of that, and because you might be skipping out of your head, and like with this full moon energy, we're in a full moon, so the full moon is, you know, you may have like started some projects last week, because it would have been a really good week to start doing that. And, you know, or just a different way of thinking. And I feel like Spirit may have got you thinking about how you can work some projects and all sorts of things and plans, whether it's be, you know, with yourself, around the home, whether it be business or a work, or, you know, or leaving, whatever it is around your work or employment side of things. But also, in, you know, a plan in your personal life, okay, or self-care. But there's something going on. And then the last card out is the 6 of Wands. So, you know, that's about success, you know, acclaim and success. So public acclaim and success. So 6 of Wands. So some of you may be putting yourself out there. and not necessarily, like out there, or may have put yourself out there, but I'm just hearing like for them to say that something is, it's just to keep going, because it's like, there is something that's really moving in there. So I'm going to, like, from what I'm feeling, like this is probably like a monthly read as well. So it's like, even though it's come up for this week, the second week of July, and the 6th of July, I do feel like this will probably be like this monthly read for you overall. And it's because they've only given me 3 cards, which is really interesting. So I will call this a monthly read as well as this week for you, the beginning of it. Okay, awesome, cool. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there with lots of love, peace, harmony, and joy, excitement and adventure for you for this month, for this week as well. So yeah, cool. I'm really excited for you. And getting in your movement with this. You get that fire energy behind it, because you've got 2 wands there that are just encouraging you, because you're a fire sign yourself. So it's like encouraging to use that fire energy to get moving. Okay, boom, and then you've got it. Okay, anyway, I'll leave that with you for now, and God bless you, God protect you, and like I say, we'll leave that with you with lots of love, peace, harmony, and joy, excitement and adventure. And don't forget about like Einstein, Tesla, and all those other scientists. I was going to say, there's a homeopathic Samuel Hahnemann, and all of them, but way back then, and also there are more recent scientists that have achieved things in here and in this lifetime, in their lifetime as well, not just way back then. Okay, anyway, bye for now, see you then.